Waiting on Matt.
That's why, because goddamn YouTube changes shit. So, welcome everybody to In the Clouds Live. We should be live now. I had to click the go live button, even though everything else was
Oh,
showing.
I
So,
see.
no waiting screen, no music, just jump right into us talking, trying to figure out YouTube. From the last time they changed things, I'm still
Okay, now it shows.
yeah.
Now it
So,
shows that we're live. All right, cool,
welcome
awesome.
as our whole. We'll just redo that whole intro. Welcome everybody. Like I was
Oh,
saying earlier, we we dragged Logan through the trenches here, and he's here. He's listening to me twice because hey, who wouldn't want
there
to
we
hear?
go. Okay, I got it.
So if you guys can hear us, if you
I
can
got it.
see us, all that good stuff. Jesus, oh no, oh no. You guys
I
can
think
hear us and see
I
us.
think I got it now.
Let us know in the chat. Having some dangle clacks. It's been a little while.
Yeah, we're new at this, everybody. We're new at this.
Oh my. Oh my. This is the first stream. First stream of the year. First time streaming in general.
This is why I don't run the stream. This is why Matt runs the stream, so that way when things like this happen, you guys can just blame Matt.
And then you can
That way
just and then you can
nobody
just
can
laugh.
blame me. Yeah, this way nobody can blame me. But yes, it's 2020. Welcome to 2020. I am starting out 2020 just doing awesome.
Sickness. The
Yeah,
sickness.
this is like day 4, and I'm at that stage where I don't have like the flu or anything, but I just have like a wicked head cold. Like kids had it, and then Becky had it. She still kind of got it. She's on the very tail end, and I'm at that point where like it's just right here right now, like right here. You know when you get that, like it's just hot and sore and stuffy, and then I also have that like my body is just tired phase.
Yeah. And
That's where I'm
the
at.
bright lights are hurting you right now.
Yeah, no, not really. It's not too bright in here. It looks kind of brighter than it is, but other than that, I'm doing good and getting better, and yeah, yep, that's it. That's all I've got.
Shout
I'm
out
gonna
to
let Matt lead the charge on this one
well,
tonight.
thanks Logan. Thanks for being here. You made it.
Yeah, I'm here.
Enjoy that vape that you probably can't taste. Sorry, that was a kidney punch.
I can't, dude.
Shout out
I
to
can't
everybody
taste
that's
it.
in the chat. I'm seeing 5 people viewing. I don't know how many people are actually here, but shout out to Jay Wings.
Jay Wings is here.
VTX. How are you doing? We are doing great. First stream 2020. We're here after a little holiday break.
Shane is here.
Shane, Mr.
Hi, Shane.
Saddlehorse Blues.
Or Brandy. It's
Or
one
Brandy.
of the two.
Both. Maybe both. They're
might be
watching.
both.
They're watching together on the
I
big
bet it's
screen.
Shane.
We don't know.
I bet it's Shane.
So,
Hi, Shane.
God, it's been a while, huh, Logan?
It has been a while, man. It's been a while indeed. You know what? I just really wish I could taste my vapes right now. If you want to just get into it, I've got this little guy, Notion Berserker 1.5. There's a peach strawberry 12 milligram in here that I can't taste. And then I've got my Rudder Goon 1.5 on top, and some Blue Rise lemonade of mine
Ooh.
that I also can't taste right now.
Version
Like 4.
All right. Well, I wish you could taste it because I'd like to know. But...
I can't taste it right. I know what it tastes like, but I can't physically taste it right now. And that's literally that's it. That's it. And I've got some ginger ale. Because cheers to being sick.
There you go. Ginger ale.
Can't go wrong.
So I guess I'll
let you take it away with all of your taste buds and stuff, man.
I don't have too many setups, man. I've been on a mouth to lung kick, so but I'll start with non-mouth to lung. So I got that recurve squonk. Thank you, Shane, if you're here. If it's both of you, Shane, whoever. Thank you. Got that dead goat on top. Pretty sure I have Saddlehorse Blues coils in there. And on the inside of that, sorry, I kind of lost my voice. Took a hit of this guy, and he'd been sitting for a while. Kind of messed me up. On the inside of that, got some Sub-Zero grape. So it's that grape ice by Saucy. That's really good. It's like, I don't know. I haven't had too many grapes, but right now that's my favorite grape. That Berserker Mini. What is it, 1.5 Mini? 1.5
Yeah, that's the 1.5
1.5 Mini sitting on that
That's the
Aegis.
22 millimeter, right?
The 22, yeah.
This is the 24 in stainless for anybody out there.
Yeah.
Different. Obviously, I have a different drip tip and the stainless barrel, but the regular 1.5 is a 24 millimeter, and then what Matt's got is a 22.
And I kind of wish I got the 24 millimeter because you see, I still got that stainless, that little bit of, I got some room there. I should have looked
even
around a little more for
even
the
with a
24.
24, Matt,
I still would have,
you'd
yeah,
still have room on
still
there.
have
Yeah.
room. On the inside of that, I've still got that Apple cooler by
Ooh,
Naked.
the folks from Failure to Launch are here with us. Awesome. Thank
Hello,
you.
hello. Thanks for
Failure
being
to
here,
Launch. It's
guys.
Red Phoenix and a bunch of those hooligans over there on that show.
The hooligans.
Hooligans over there on
So
that show.
yeah, I
They
got
have a
that.
really good show.
I gotta check it out. I'm sorry, I haven't checked it out. I gotta check it out.
I've popped in there a few times. Usually I pop in and then I just like vomit facts into the chat and then I leave.
And then you leave. So yeah, that Apple
Basically all I
cooler.
do.
My other mouth to lung setup that I just got last night and I'm enjoying the crap out of it today is I got the Grim kit. Of course, red
Yeah, I
and
saw
black.
that.
I couldn't help myself. But I didn't.
What coil do you have in there?
I have the mesh. It's that point seven. Yeah,
Yeah,
point. It's
okay.
coming into 0.68 right
So
now.
it's more of the direct lung coil.
Yeah, but I kind of just like set it up wicked quick. I have the airflow turned down like all the way because I was looking for more, mouth to
Yeah,
lung. But
mouth to lung.
I just set it up so quick. I was just like and I got that anarchist blue in there. And to be honest, when I was vaping, and I still have it, the Rocket Blast. It's set up on the Mech Life with that Apocalypse. Is it the Apocalypse 24? I think it is. Um, yeah, that Rocket Blast, like this Anarchist Blue, to me tastes exactly like Rocket Blast. Like I'm not getting the Rocket Blast is the blue raz strawberry lemonade, but I wasn't getting so much of the strawberry lemonade. And this Anarchist Blue, it's the same blue raspberry it's in Rocket Blast, like
Yeah,
spot on, and it's very good.
just
Like if you want to try
kind
a
of an
good,
overwhelming blue raz.
yeah, if you want a good blue raspberry, this is that 25 milligram Nick salt. It came with the kit. They had a little deal going on. I think it was only until January 2nd. So like I
I think I
jumped on
saw
it.
that on Recoil RDA.
Yeah, Recoil
Yeah,
RDA.
yeah,
That's from what Grim said previously. Like if you want to support him, that's where you get it. Buy it through the
yeah.
site. And I don't know the whole deal with them. I don't know if Hell Vape screwed them or something. He didn't
Yeah,
dig too
I
deep
remember
on
Nick
that, but
saying something at one point that basically Hell Vape screwed him over or something on the deal.
yeah,
I don't know, dude. Chinese companies do this shit all
all
the
the
time.
time. I was literally just about to say all the time.
Like
So
anybody out there, if you ever get in bed with a Chinese company to make an RDA or design a device,
expect to
don't
be
do it for
screwed.
the money. Yeah, expect to be screwed. I don't know, do it for the notoriety or something, but don't do it for the money because you're not going to get any.
So that's what I'm vaping. As far as what I'm drinking, it's some reds, some cider. I think this is the black cherry.
Oh, nice.
I got it on ice just because my girlfriend was so gracious to pick them up for me for the stream, and I was like, they're room temperature. I don't care. I'll put it on some ice.
Prior to me being sick, I was enjoying every night. I was pouring a glass of this salted caramel whiskey that we had gotten for Christmas, and phenomenal stuff. But obviously, I'm sick right now, so
Yeah. So crap. Let's dive into it, man. It's been a couple weeks. So
okay.
how have you been? Tell me about your holidays, everything.
Holidays were good. Christmas was great.
Is the Christmas tree down? Is it still
Christmas
standing?
tree is down. It's down. We're
It's all
done. We're moving on. It's 2020.
Yeah, yeah.
We're looking at
2020.
possibly putting in maybe like a bar style seating thing back here, and we might move the podcast over to here and get some things going on with that out here.
Nice.
This room is still kind of like a big work in progress. We don't really know
What you're doing
exactly
with
what
it
we want to do with it and how we want to set it up yet. It just kind of is what it is. But yeah, Christmas went really well, and New Year's went really well. I don't know. It was a good time. Yeah, it was good. It was the holidays, man. It was the holidays. Went off without a hitch. Besides, obviously, my Jeep broke down on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I think I saw that in the Discord, right? You sent a picture. Did that?
Yeah, we had a couple other things happen on Christmas Eve that kind of sucked, but we're getting through it. And but as far as like the actual holiday itself and stuff like that, and Christmas morning with the kids and everything, went off without a hitch.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. So for my holidays, I had Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve off. I just worked like the previous Sunday is what we decided to do. So yeah, so we had a Christmas Eve party. That was awesome. My girlfriend was great with planning all of that. We had a full hot chocolate bar and all that good stuff, and plenty of little appetizers and food and all that. And Christmas Day was more kicked back. We exchanged our gifts and just kind of hung out from the night of drinking and everything like that. Same with New Year's. It was a pretty chill night. The last like 3 years, we just fall asleep. Like it was never
Yeah.
like when I was younger, it was always like, yeah, stay up, three,
I had
two, one.
I had kind of gone to bed
And
because
just
I had to get up New Year's morning
okay.
and go work. Oh, hang on.
So yeah, as we're hanging on, look at that cord stretched right out. About to bust.
Um, so I had to deal with some stuff early on in the morning at like 4 in the morning, New Year's morning. So I had gone to bed, gotten up, and I got up like 10 minutes to midnight. So I got to see the ball drop.
Yeah. So
But normally anymore, we're the same way. Like
yeah.
sometimes we stay up. Sometimes we're just like the kids can stay up. They can watch the ball if they want to, and they'll crash when they're ready.
Yeah, that was like the biggest thing watching Dick Clark's New Year's Eve, and it
Yeah.
kind of just started to fade off. I was like, ah, shit, fall asleep. Oh, New Year's, okay, great.
Yeah,
New
yeah,
Year.
it's less
New
exciting.
Year.
Like, it's more exciting in like your early 20s when you can like go out to the bars and celebrate New Year's and like drink and it's a big hoorah and all that.
Yeah, all my
But the older you
coworkers
get,
were.
you're just like, cool, it's another year.
Yeah, like all my coworkers were shocked, but like New Year's Eve, my girlfriend went out to like I think it was like 4 different restaurants, took takeout from all these restaurants. We sat down and we ate, we chilled. I've been watching Peaky Blinders on Netflix.
Oh,
and,
I've heard about that show.
And
Is it good?
because it's good so far. I'm on season 2, episode 2 or something like that, and it's great. I finished up American Horror Story as far as what
love
Netflix
that
had to
show.
offer, and I was like, damn, what's next? I was like, Facebook is plastering ads in front of my face of Peaky Blinders. I was like, all right, let's watch Peaky Blinders. So we had a bunch of takeout, watched Peaky Blinders. Yeah, so Shane Oakley. Shane,
What up,
I feel
Shane?
like I never see you anymore. I hope you're
No.
doing well. I hope your holidays went well, and I hope your New Year's starting out right.
I need
The
more
same-
wisdom.
And the same to everybody in chat.
I need all the wisdom.
Yeah, I need
Nice,
more of that.
nice. Yeah.
I'm looking
nice,
for Shane. You take your time. Whenever the weekday or the weekend wisdom comes back, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be there. I want to get my
You know,
knowledge up.
I hear the most that I hear from Shane anymore is when I'm uploading a podcast and I decide to use his intro bumper. Then I get to hear
Then you
Shane's
get to
wonderful
hear
voice.
Shane.
But that's literally the extent that I hear from Shane anymore.
We need
Shane, I need you
Shane.
in my
We
life.
need you in our lives, dude. Like,
Need
what's
you.
going on, man?
Need
He's
you
here
in my
now.
life.
What? He's here now. 2020, New Year. He's here
But
now.
I need him like physically, like right here.
Okay. Well.
That's what I need.
Yeah. So
Are you ready to get into it, Matt?
I'm kind of ready to get into it.
I'm not ready to get into it.
I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here. It's been a nice holiday break. Yeah, we can.
Yeah,
dive
even
into it.
even we took a week off kind of before the holidays with the podcast just to kind of
It's nice. It's
take
really
a week
nice.
off and
Yeah.
kind of get back on track and then
I mean, I seriously can't even keep up with Twitter like you do. Like, I try and go on Twitter and
Yeah,
literally like
dude.
retweet
I've
what
even
you're
slowed
saying because
down
like
on
I
Twitter.
I can't keep up, man. Like
I've
seriously,
even slowed down on Twitter.
You know?
It's sometimes you just want to beat your head against a wall with
Yeah.
Twitter.
Sometimes it's like, damn, man, I don't want to get up and look at this negativity or this misinformation. Some people have to drive like, you're damn right, I'm gonna get up and correct these motherfuckers. But me, I'm like, dude, I do not want to see that after working OT or after working in general.
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
don't
and
want
just
to
get you all fired up.
Yeah, it's like so.
Wisdom is coming back. Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah, dude. Work
I'm gonna
kills
sit here
us.
for a
I
second.
feel ya.
This is great. I just want to enjoy this real quick before we dive in. We went through.
But
our
yeah,
little-
I mean, Twitter. I don't know. It's
great.
It's tough. I mean, I try my best when it comes to people that I can tell are just naive or misinformed, and I try to just politely and respectfully correct people. And then you have organizations and these groups and these people that are clearly just like here to troll and here to,
There's too many Karens out there to correct. Too many
Far too
Karens
many.
with the wine bottle in one hand and the phone in the other. There's just too many
Yeah.
to correct.
yeah.
So Yeah.
But let's backtrack. I don't know if we do an episode after. No, we didn't. So we haven't done an episode since before T21
Yeah. Yeah. It's
went
been.
full nationwide.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think maybe we should start there with T21
Yeah. So.
just to play catch up really quick. So for anybody that out there that doesn't know, Tobacco 21 is in full effect. Originally, so I was really confused by this when it happened because originally there should have been basically like 9 months between it, becoming a thing and it actually going into full effect. There should have been a comment period. There should have been this whole big thing, and it didn't happen. We kind of just bypassed everything and just was like, nope, it's effective immediately, which is crazy to me. Absolutely insane. Like we bypassed entire legislative processes, and T21 just whoop,
I
right in.
mean, and the problem, my biggest thing about T21, and the second I heard and saw that T21, like, and I saw everybody talking about it on Twitter and everything, people instantly started with the whole like, you can vote and you can go to war, but you can't do
Yeah.
this. Are you an adult? Are you not an adult? You can go and die, but you can't go have a drink or buy, tobacco products and stuff like that. And I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. I feel bad for anybody who's 18 to 20 who
Yeah,
smokes
no
cigarettes
grandfather clause,
or
no
vapes.
military clause,
You know,
no anything,
um,
no
it
nothing.
it definitely is it gonna the whole the push for everything, and we talk about this all the time. We always have different articles and whatnot, but the whole big fake push is youth use. Is this gonna curb youth use, or why are we restricting this, or are these guys buying it for younger guys? And it's all the same thing, and it's like T21, okay, you want to restrict what
But
previously was adults.
my question for anybody out there supporting T21, if we look at the numbers, if we look at the current youth vaping numbers compared to another 21 or older adult product, alcohol,
Yeah.
there are currently still more teenagers that drink and consume alcohol than there are that vape nicotine. So please explain to me how this slows that down.
Yeah, I'm completely with it, and I've seen.
Like I'm just curious because you would think if T21, if making a product not available to people under 21 legally worked, then wouldn't we have a lower drinking rate than we would vaping rate?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I
I'm
would
with it.
assume. I would
I'm,
assume. I don't know.
I'm
I'm
with
not a
it,
scientist,
and
but
it's the. I
I'm
mean,
just gonna. It just doesn't seem to me like it works in any capacity.
dude,
But
we forgot to roll the bumper.
damn,
I
roll it.
I
Roll
kind of
that
want to
beautiful
roll it.
bean
I
footage.
I want to
Roll it. Just
roll
do
it
it.
real
Roll it.
quick.
Roll the bumper, Matt.
We're just like sitting here like,
Did it do it?
it looked like it did it. I gotta.
Okay, I don't know if it did or not, but either way, yeah, I just it's one of those things where I made a statement a long time ago on Twitter, basically saying the only way that I would support T21 in any capacity is if we grandfathered everybody in from the ages of 18 to 20, and grandfathered in military obviously along with that, but also we made everything 21. This whole when are you an adult
It's
is
it's
just
it's one way or the other.
like
It's 18
yeah,
or it's
you
21.
can
Like, make
you
it
can
happen.
legally tried and put in jail for the rest of your entire life. You can go to war and die. You can decide the fate of the presidency of this country. You can do all sorts of things. You can gamble. You can gamble your life away. You can do all sorts of things at 18. You can get married. You could ruin your life in like 1,000 ways when you turn 18. But God forbid you pick up a harm reduction product.
No, and I completely agree with Shane in the
And it's just
chat.
absurd.
T21 doesn't change anything. It
No,
really doesn't.
it just all it does is either make your 18-year-olds middlemen, or now you're going to be putting youth in even a more potentially harmful area where they have to seek out 21-year-olds, people that they might not even know from their school,
Yeah.
complete strangers at that age.
And
I think it puts youth in even more harm's way, but
all anybody's,
what do I know?
everybody talks daily on Twitter about, the black market. Well, here you go. let's just keep rolling all these bans, restrictions, whatever you want to call them out, and let's just watch something flourish that's going to cause more harm, or could
Yeah.
cause more harm
And the
than,
black market
you
has
know.
no age. Has
Yeah.
no age verification.
No, these kids buy things through Snapchat. Shit, I got
Absolutely.
I have people that like I'm friends with or whatever you want to call it on social media that are posting up stories that they sell puff bars and X amount for the puff bar and X amount delivered, and you think they care, how old you are? No,
No,
because they're
they don't
hustling,
care.
and that's how it works. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and
That's it, man. Little entrepreneurs
yeah,
taking advantage of the system.
yeah. So I dropped the link to an article. That's a Time article if you want to read that.
It does technically, it will make the number of underage vapors go up. Yes, but it here's where it gets tricky, because it will technically make the number of underage vapors go up, but it won't necessarily make the number of high schoolers or school age youth go
Yeah,
up.
because
You know what I'm
now
saying?
that underage number has been bumped up, but if you still want to talk about underage users as in high schoolers, then now you're talking about a whole different group because you bumped it up. So now you can talk about
Yeah, I
underage
mean,
users.
recently I
Not
saw an article about how vaping was becoming a problem on college campuses, and I'm like, they're adults.
or yeah, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? I mean,
Like,
if you restrict smoking and vaping, and you want to make an article out of that, like these people are doing this on when where you're not supposed to, then yeah, sure. But like talking about something like that about adults using something that they can use, I mean, that's just kind of
legally,
yeah,
yeah. Like,
that's
what do you
pointless.
mean? Yeah, it's
That's
I saw an article on it, and I was just like, what the fuck are you talking
that's a
about? Like, they're
headline to
adults.
that's a headline to get clicked and
Yeah,
re fucking
yeah.
tweeted.
But
So
yes, Ricky, it will make the underage vaping numbers go up.
yeah,
But
for sure.
I think they'll have to create an entirely different category, because they wouldn't be the questionnaires like the National Youth Tobacco Survey and Monitoring the Future. Those questionnaires wouldn't be handed out to 19, 20, and 21, like that age group, because they would be out of school.
Yeah. So now you get a whole different
So
like
so it's going to be interesting to
section of
see what
underage.
happens with those numbers, but again, they still aren't high school age kids. They still aren't middle schoolers. So they wouldn't be involved in those questionnaires to begin with.
So
It'll be interesting to see how they're going to have to start handing those things out at college campuses now, I guess. I don't know.
see,
It's going to
my
be
only
interesting to see
thing
what they do.
is like we just said earlier, you lean one way or the other. Everything's 18 or everything's 21. What's this pick and choose? Now all of a sudden, to purchasing tobacco products is 21 when it was 18. Alcohol's been 21 for I don't know how long, but in my opinion is
Oh,
it's
since what, the
it's
80s
everything one way or another. Either you're an adult and you can do adult things or you
or
can't.
90s? I don't
You
know.
know. So
80s, I think it went up
and
to 20.
like Red Phoenix, said earlier in the chat, if you can, get married, vote, go to war, start a family, and start a business, all that kind of stuff, at 18, then you're an adult. I don't understand why you can't make your own choices.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and as far as I know, at the age of 18, you can still purchase NRTs. I'm almost 100% sure that at the age of 18, you're still legally allowed to buy nicotine gum, nicotine patch, nicotine lozenge, nicotine spray, just not a vapor product or a tobacco product.
and you still see on Twitter the whole argument of vaping products even being labeled as tobacco products. I mean, I've seen people tweet about that and that sort of thing. So it's like it's an ongoing thing.
The theory makes sense, Shane, but I'm going to refute that with we drank like motherfuckers when I was 15 because we had friends and older brothers and shit like that were 21.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe, but it didn't stop us any.
Vaping is just
And again, you have a higher percentage of teenagers that drink alcohol than you do vape already. So,
But you see, that's not
and
plastered.
the numbers alone
Across the
shoot the
headlines right
theory
now.
down.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
obviously not. No,
so it's like
no, it wouldn't
vaping
be.
is getting all this, all this scrutiny and all this attraction and all this everything that's going on with the government because like it's headlines right now. It's clicks, it's
Oh, yeah,
reclicks, whatever
yeah.
the hell you want to call it, misinformation, incorrect articles, everything on and on and on, and it goes. And
Yeah,
that's
and
in
here's
the
the thing: we're
spotlight
starting
right
to
now.
see articles get better, but they bury it.
Yeah,
You know, the THC thing is finally out there in just about every article you'll find. And vitamin E acetate's out there in just about every article you'll find, but you got to scroll for it.
yeah. Let's talk about how the
Not in
net,
the headline. It's down near the bottom.
the
It's
new
there,
the
but
new
it's at the
youth
bottom.
tobacco survey is out, and we still have people ranting on Twitter about flavors. All the
Yeah,
antis are still
yeah.
ranting about flavors, and we know that the reasoning of teens vaping as far as flavors go is what it was number 3, if I'm correct.
Yeah, it was third behind Curiosity and Friends and Family
Yeah. I mean,
doing
friends
it.
and
So
family, like, nobody wants to talk about that category. Friends and family.
I mean, Friends and Family could mean though, like, say I was 10 years older than I am right now, and my teenage daughter decided to pick up a vape, and her excuse was, well, my dad, who is a vaping advocate, vapes, like, and it's one of those.
It
It,
can be that. I'm leaning more
and
on, like, my brother bought it for me, or like that sort of thing. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it can be a number of things, of
which,
course.
trust me, I've got a pretty good lockdown of my kids with the vaping
Yeah.
scenario.
Yeah.
They fully
So
are fully aware and completely uninterested, because it's not cool, and you sound like you
yeah.
sound weird when you talk while you vape. Like, my kids are just like, whatever, please just don't smoke.
Yeah, and like Red Phoenix just said in the chat, everybody, in short, everybody knows somebody that's 21, or everybody has a friend that's
Yeah.
21. You think all these 18-year-olds that were smoking, do you really not think that they don't hang out with 21-year-olds or no
Yeah.
21-year-olds? Like, give me a
Shane,
break.
more youth die in one day from drinking related issues than
Yeah,
have ever died from vaping legal nicotine.
yeah.
We
So
lose 4,500 teens every year on average to drinking related issues.
is that I didn't know that.
4,500. 70,000 Americans total. 4,500 teens. Not an epidemic.
Oh God, that word.
80,000 a year to opioids.
And
That's an epidemic.
despite
We
all
actually do acknowledge that one.
despite this, and then the next ban that we're going to talk about, May 2020
Oh yeah,
is a
yeah. The
big date.
PMTAs
So as far as that
are still a
goes,
big thing. Yeah. PMTAs. I mean, everybody right now. Let's move forward a little bit. Let's talk about the new regulations. Let's talk about the Trump administration's FDA's newest regulations, which is the banning of closed pod flavored systems. So
And if
anything other than tobacco and menthol.
and I don't know if everybody here, if you guys watch Grim Green's vlog. I did. I watched the replay, and I had work. I never catch him live, but I did watch the replay, and there's a lot of loopholes with this, and he kind of got into it with the idea of puff bars. Used to use referencing puff bars, the urine, and Stig, and how some of these companies, they sell pre-filled, but then they also sell refillable, and it's like there's a lot, and
Yeah, they just, any companies that sell both would just have to stop selling their flavors other than tobacco or menthol.
yeah,
And there is an exclusion in the new regulations for completely self-contained enclosed devices. I, from time to time, use the hides, which are 50 milligram disposables. That would count for Stigs. That would count for puff bars. That would
yeah,
count for a number of other e-liquid companies have put out their own. Like, I believe Naked 100 has done it. There's a few other ones that have done it, but yeah, like basically like Stigs, like disposables, all in ones.
yeah,
You vape it till it tastes bad or the battery dies or whatever. They last you like a day or
and
two
that's
days
it.
or whatever, and then you recycle the thing. Those there is an exemption for those, and what has been banned is any closed pod in any flavor other than tobacco or menthol. So there's been a lot of confusion out there. That goes for things like obviously Juul doesn't sell their flavored pods anymore, but it would
Jewel
have.
banned themselves.
Yeah, basically.
Jewel.
But the Views Alto, any of the Views pods, the Enjoy pods, the Yearn, those pods that they do have that come in flavors that are self-contained. So any flavored pre-filled pod other than tobacco or menthol. A lot of people were going crazy on Twitter about, oh, they actually mean all pods, any pod. And I'm gonna put it to you this way: unless the wicking inside your empty pod is flavored, they don't mean those pods. So your Caliburn pods are fine. Your whatever, I don't know. Name another pod.
I can't help
They're
but
fine.
to
If it doesn't have liquid in it when you buy it and it's empty, that pod is fine. It's safe for right now.
and one of the things that just drives me absolutely insane is they don't care to, or they don't take the time to learn any of this technology before they start rolling out, whatever you want to call them, these knee jerk policies, knee jerk bans,
Feel good policies.
yeah, feel good, and it's just they don't. I Either they do and they don't care, or they don't realize the damage that they're causing rolling these things out. You know what I mean? What about if
Yeah,
you
because
have?
I mean, we'll be honest here. Kids don't vape for the flavors. We already know that.
We know that,
Kids are
but that
buying
fact is ignored
high nic
because
pods because they like the nicotine buzz.
antis are continuing to roll out tweets and on and on and
Right.
on
And
about flavors, even though
particularly,
we know that that's not the case.
yeah, they like high nicotine salts. And if you look at the how nicotine absorption works, from cigarettes to nic salts to freebase, etc. Nic salts, especially 50 milligram, high milligram nic salts, really mimic the spike of nicotine. That was Juul's entire reason behind their process and what they did. So that's what kids are after. It's the same reason I smoked. It's because those high milligram pods spike nicotine. They feel really good. They give you a little buzz, especially like, when I was a kid, first thing in the morning when I would wake up, the first cigarette of the day was everything.
Oh
Everything.
yeah,
That buzz
empty
was,
stomach, 6 to 8 hours, no water,
yeah,
just
waiting on
right
your
to
pot
you.
of coffee.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
yeah, dude,
Yeah.
first cigarette of the day. And that's what the kids are after. They're after that feeling. So
Yeah.
we know they're not after flavors. So the only people that are going to be affected right now are the people that use those flavored devices from gas stations, from C stores.
Yeah.
I mean, if we look at RJ Reynolds and their Views Solo, I believe it's their Views Solo, their highest selling pod, their highest selling one is mixed berry. That means there are literally tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of adults that use the Mixberry View Solo regularly to stay off of cigarettes. And now those people had their products taken away.
And it's funny that
And it's not going to affect the kids because they're just going to go with the menthol, or they're just going to go with the tobacco
and
flavor.
the government thinks that they're doing public health a favor. Oh, we'll leave tobacco and menthol. Don't worry,
Yeah.
we'll leave tobacco
They're
and
just going to
menthol
use that. I mean,
for
Christ,
for
kids
users who
smoke.
are trying to make the switch because
It's just absurd.
I mean,
Yeah, it's just so backwards, dude. It's just so backwards. And
you know,
anybody out there, I agree. This is a win for only one group of people, and that's vape shops. This whole legislation saves vape shops for the next 4 months or whatever. But that's it. That's the only people that make out here. We did not win.
but it's like a
I want people
small,
to
it's a
understand.
very slim, like small, like I don't even want to call it a bright side because I don't think any
It's not.
bans, restrictions, or anything is
Yeah,
any
it's not
kind
a
of a
win.
win whatsoever. If only it's delaying the inevitable or what's gonna happen,
Yeah.
or if you want to call May 2020 like the big
I
nuke
just
or whatever.
I
You know
don't
what I mean?
understand
Like,
how people can look at this when we lost ground, when tobacco harm reduction and vaping lost ground.
they're
We
taking,
took
they're
products
taking, and
from
there's not gonna
smokers.
be, there's gonna be
How
no
is that a
give.
win?
Yeah.
It's not a win. It's a stay. Yeah, we vape shops got to stay for the next 4 months, but that's it. They're the only people that made out here. The smokers lost. The vapors that rely on those products, people have already quit with those products, lost. Convenience stores lost. I mean,
The convenience and easiness of
yeah,
users
the
trying to make
disabled
the
lost.
switch, some of it
The
just got
elderly
pulled.
lost.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
there's plenty of loopholes, and there's countless products out there, but the idea is that users trying to make the switch are now less likely to make it because of X, Y, and Z. You
My
know what I
only
mean?
hope is that smokers currently going to gas stations to buy a vapor product, buy a tobacco or a menthol one, and gain enough interest through that product to go visit a vape shop.
Yeah.
That's my only hope. That it's enough, that product is enough to get them interested in learning more, and either going online and learning more or going to the vape shop.
Yeah.
Because
But now it's not as easy as like,
that's
oh,
my
I
only
guess
hope.
I'll grab, I'll grab one of these. Now it's like, now you really gotta want to quit. You really gotta like, oh, I'm gonna drive to the vape shop today. I can't just, grab this as I'm getting my gas anymore. I'm gonna drive down here. I'm gonna do it. Now it's like
Yeah,
you
you've
really,
created a
really
whole
gotta do
nother
it.
obstacle.
Now you don't have like a 50-50 like, oh, cigarettes, or do I, my
Do,
wife's
do I
been
pick up
telling
this
me,
mixed berry views?
my family's been
Yeah.
telling me I gotta quit the cigarettes. I got this right here in front of me. Do I just do it now? Now
Yeah,
it's
and
not
it's
that.
like, well, I really don't want a tobacco one, or I'm not a menthol smoker. I really, I thought last week I was going to come in and buy one of these mixed berry things, but they're gone. So
And I don't know
fuck
the
it,
actual
you know.
statistic, but how about we talk about like a 19-year-old that's been smoking cigarettes since it could be 13, it could be
10
12.
years,
We
10
don't
years
know.
old. Yeah.
And now they're denied from not only cigarettes but from the safer alternative as well.
I agree, Shane. I agree. And so yeah, I mean, anybody looking at this is some big win. It's not. And I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news or a Debbie Downer or anything, but it's not. I mean,
He's
if
sick.
you're
Let's just
if
point that
you're a
out. He's sick.
real, I am
He
terribly
sounds
sick,
Debbie
but
Downer. He's just sick. It's okay.
if you're really here for tobacco harm reduction, then we just took a loss.
Yeah, that's a loss.
That's the truth. And that's the truth. And we just have more work to do. Is it better than an all-out ban?
Sure.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to
Yes.
argue with anybody. So anybody in chat right now that wants to be like, Logan, well, it's better than an all-out ban.
Of course
Sure,
it is, but that's
sure.
not,
Less prohibition is better than all the prohibition, I guess, but it's still not a win. Like,
And I
it's
want
not
to
a win.
I want to take something from Grimm that I couldn't agree with more, and I was like, yes, yes, yes when I was watching it. Less government. Less government because
Yeah,
government fucks everything up.
the Libertarian Party is looking so good.
I agree with that 100%. So, but like I said, there's a lot of, and Grimm kind of mentioned, there's a lot of loopholes. There's a lot of products. There's a lot of, but now it's not as simple as it was. And
Yeah, and I mean,
that's
we're
the
already seeing a
biggest
lot
thing,
of shops switch over to short fills right now, and a lot of online stores switching over to short fills, just to get ahead of things.
Yeah.
Or they were doing that to preemptively get ahead of things.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Montana, I believe, is already doing short fills. I know a lot of places in Michigan at one point ahead of their ban, they were already implementing short fills.
Now, like,
and if you're not familiar with short fills are a UK thing where you add Nick shot to your flavored 0 milligram e-liquid. What we would be doing here in the States with short fills would be kind of the opposite. We would be adding a flavor shot to our unflavored nicotine base e-liquid. But yeah, I mean, I say throw the entire government away and start over. Red, I agree. Maybe not the entire. No, scrap the whole thing. Scrap it.
Yeah, just clean slate.
Just clean slate. But yeah, it's just
poop naked. I like that.
It's difficult
J
for me
Wings
to just
VTX.
look at it as any kind of a win. I mean, it's not. We're here to help smokers, and we took options away from smokers. Like, I can't justify it as any kind of a win, and I know a lot of shop owners and a lot of shop employees would disagree with me, and they're very happy with this outcome. And because they can keep their business, they can keep their livelihood.
We're not talking about what it could have been. We're talking about like what is, and this is not a win.
And I get that, and I know that this also affects a lot of big tobacco's products. So a lot of people are happy about that too.
Yeah.
But everybody needs to understand that the only people that are going to make it through the PMTA as it stands currently is big tobacco. So at the end of the day, if all hell goes south and all flavored e-liquid moves underground, the only thing that will be available, PMTA and FDA approved, is going to be big tobacco and menthol products still left on the shelf.
Yeah, and we were
While
talking about it.
Everybody was back here celebrating.
We were talking about it a little bit earlier. We were talking about black market, and as far as people in the vaping community, like getting e-liquid and that sort of thing, yeah, people aren't going to have a problem. People are already DIYing, or people know somebody who DIY. But anybody who's trying to make the transition, and they get some e-liquid from Joe Schmo down
and
the
trust me, they're
road.
going after DIY. I mean, they're trying to tax bulk nicotine as it is, nicotine by the barrel.
And I think either a few weeks ago, probably over a month ago now, I was watching different streams where people were like, if you DIY, if you don't already have like bulk in your freezer or just have it, buy bulk.
Buy
because
now.
it's coming,
Yeah.
It's a fucking shit storm that's coming. And also, I think we haven't streamed in a couple weeks now, but I think we never on the last stream we didn't talk about these lower nicotine cigarettes that came out as well. If you
Oh,
want to touch
okay.
on
So I
that.
have some shit to say about the VLNs, and yes, I put up a Twitter poll about this. If you disagree with me, please DM me. I'd be happy to talk about this. But here's my thoughts on VLN cigarettes and the FDA approving two of them, two very low nicotine cigarette brands. What's it going to do? Now, Matt, I know that you don't have a history of smoking, but most people here in the chat do. And if you do, I'm sure that you, just like every smoker on the planet, is loyal. Smokers are loyal to their brand. I was a Camel guy. A lot of people are Marb people. A lot of people are Newport people. A lot of people are L&M people. Like, smokers are loyal to their brand. When you find a cigarette that you like and it tastes a certain way, you smoke that cigarette. And the only thing that changes a smoker's brand is a significant cost difference. And I can tell you from experience, when I started buying from a reservation and I could get Senecas, which are fucking terrible, but when I could get those for $20 a carton, that was a significant cost difference. It's the only thing that changed my mind. And even still at that point, a lot of times when I would go to the reservation to get my cigarettes, I would still buy a pack of Camels now and then. Camels or smokers are very loyal to their brands. So if you have a smoker, if they go into their convenience store looking to get their pack of cigarettes and they see these new low nicotine cigarettes for the same price as their brand, you're already not creating much incentive for them to switch. And two, if I was a smoker, hardcore smoker at my heaviest when I was like a pack and a half a day, and I walked in and I bought these VLN cigarettes, and in the first 3 hours, I killed that pack trying to get my nicotine. Say I even did this a few times. Say I went and bought a couple of these packs. Yeah, I increased my smoking rate, but most smokers are going to notice that. They're going to notice how much money they're spending extra on all these extra cigarettes, and they're just going to go right back to their brand. This idea, and it really took me a while to come to this, because at first when we talked about very low nicotine cigarettes, if this had been implemented across the board, every brand of cigarettes was now mandated to be low nicotine, we'd be having a whole different conversation. But when all you do is put one new brand or two new brands up on the shelf next to everything else for low nicotine, I don't see it having much of an impact at all.
And the thing that just drives me
And Tom
wild.
Anthony, again, I'm going to disagree, because I just don't think people are going to buy them.
Yeah, either they're not going to buy them at all, or they're going to do exactly what he's saying.
I put a Twitter poll up, and about 70% of the people, it was like 150 or 200 people that voted, agreed with me. The smokers are loyal to their brand. They're just going to stick with their brand. And if they do appeal to young, new smokers, here's the other thing. People seem to think that young, new smokers are going to all of a sudden pick up like a 3-pack a day habit on these very low nicotine cigarettes. It doesn't work that way. You guys need to understand it doesn't work that way. Why would somebody go from 0 to 3 packs a day trying to achieve a nicotine level that they don't already have established from being a prior smoker?
Yeah, 100%.
You can't apply the same logic that an addicted smoker would smoke more. Maybe if that was their only option, sure, they're probably going to smoke a shit ton of them. But if you don't already have a prior nicotine level that you're trying to achieve or maintain, why would you all of a sudden smoke a shit ton more of these things? If they do end up addicted to these, they're going to be addicted to 0.3 to 0.4 milligrams of nicotine compared to the average 10 to 12 milligrams of nicotine per cigarette.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how people come to that, and again, at first, when FDA first announced this, I was kind of with everybody. I was like, oh, people are going to smoke a shit ton more. But the more I got into it and the more that I thought about it and the more that I sit and think about being a smoker, I just can't agree with anybody right now, because I just don't see how that works. I don't see how you take a teenager who doesn't have 10 years of smoking regular cigarettes to develop that addiction, or who have a number of years of smoking standard cigarettes to get to that addiction. How you would take somebody who doesn't have that, give them these cigarettes that have almost no nicotine in them, and think they're just going to smoke like 3 or 4 packs of these all the time. Like, Why would they? They're not trying to get to their nicotine level. They're not trying to get to a pre-established nicotine level that they would have had if they were smokers. So the logic here just, it doesn't make sense to me. And if anybody wants to refute that or has a better way of explaining to me how everybody else comes to this conclusion, please do. But I just don't understand it.
No, I agree. I'm with you 100%.
I just don't get it. And if these teenagers all of a sudden start smoking a shit ton of these cigarettes, then it makes me question whether nicotine in itself is even addictive, or if they're addicted to everything else in the cigarette, which is still there. Because VLNs, the two new brands, have somewhere between 0.3 and 0.4 milligrams per cigarette. Less than 1 milligram compared to the average cigarette that has between 10 and 12. I'll wait.
Hogan's like, let's see, anybody?
I just don't get it. I don't see the logic.
No,
I don't
mean,
see how everybody keeps coming to this conclusion.
No,
I get it. I
you.
did it first. It sounds reasonable when you first think about low nicotine cigarettes, but the more you get into it, I just don't see anybody buying them. Sure, right, but what's going to maintain the addiction to keep them smoking then? Why would they smoke more, Shane?
Yeah, no, I mean, as far as, never smokers are picking up a new habit, I don't think they'll instantly, or whatever, smoke a lot. But as far as, and that's another thing too that you're talking about, people staying true to their brand. And if they step down, are they even gonna step down? Are they gonna smoke a lot when they step down?
I know me as a smoker, so I'm going off of me as a smoker for a lot of this.
Or bottom line, is it just something out there to make people smoke again?
I think the bottom line
is that what we're talking about? Are they trying to get tobacco sales back up?
Yeah, I think they think it makes them look good. Right. Now again, if this was like a streamlined thing, all cigarette brands on the market are now 0.3 or 0.4 milligrams compared to what they usually are. If they mandated that across the board, we'd be having an entirely different conversation.
Do they think they're
at that point? Yes.
Do they think that there's people out there that are like, oh, I was gonna buy, X, Y, and Z, but the government pulled that, but there is lower nicotine cigarettes now that I can get. Like, is that what they really think people are gonna, are gonna do?
I don't know, Matt. I think it's all this big, like, look, we approve these low nicotine cigarettes. These are going to go on the market. And, once vaping's gone, maybe this will catch on. And there's like,
this is what you get. We're going to choose what you get to decide. We're going to eliminate this. Available,
and standard cigarettes are not going to lose their nicotine level. And these new cigarettes remain at the same price as standard cigarettes.
Nobody's going to know.
I don't see it doing anything. I just don't understand. I mean, yeah, maybe, but you can't. That's not a business model that you can maintain, Shane. The only reason tobacco maintains its business model is because of addiction.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm just confused. Maybe it's just me, but it just doesn't make sense to me.
No, I don't think it's just you. I think it's anybody that
But I think people get really caught up in the whole low nicotine cigarette thing, and they're not taking everything into account. And they're not taking into account the science of the addiction itself. And it makes me question it. It makes me wonder, and again, anybody, please, I'm more than happy to discuss it. I'm not hostile or anything. I just want to know. I want to understand how everybody else comes to this conclusion, given all of these factors. I just don't see it. I just think the smokers that maybe switch to try it, if they end up smoking more, smokers, you have to understand, smokers are low-income people to begin with, okay? Smokers affect low-income people, marginalized communities, people disproportionately, specifically low-income people, because they're stressed. They have just enough money to afford to smoke, and that's part of the population that smokes still are low-income people. So they manage their money around what they can afford to smoke a lot of times. If they can afford to smoke their favorite brand, which is, if they can afford to $120 a week here in New York to buy Camels every day, they're going to do that, you know, but
And no,
I don't,
Ricky, I could see
when
that
you
if
start spending a bunch more on a ton more cigarettes,
uh,
a lot of smokers are going to go, this is fucking dumb. And they're just going to go back and buy their cigarettes. Like, that's
yeah,
what I would do.
yeah.
If I was like,
I'll
these are
just try
fucking,
and smoke less of what I already smoke. Why am I going to go
yeah,
down and buy
but I'm
more? Why
still
would I
trying to
do
get to
that?
my nicotine fix. That's where vaping
That
works
too.
because
Yeah.
you can get your level of nicotine. That's the whole reason. It tastes good and you can still have all your nicotine, but now you're going to offer me this thing that tastes just as shitty as the thing I want to quit. I'm not able to have even close to half my nicotine that I'm used to. I'm going to triple my spending very quickly. I'm just going to go back and buy my other smokes. I'm just going to go back to smoking because all of that just sounds terrible to me.
This is a heated topic. I agree with you. I see your points, and I agree with you. And I think it's just
It's like
another.
nobody at the FDA asked a smoker.
Listen,
They never asked a smoker.
I was at work on lunch the other day, and I saw on the news smoking rates continue to decline, and I think this is just something else they're trying to roll out there for somebody that doesn't know about vaping or doesn't know much about vaping who are like, listen, I smoke, I want to cut down. Here's low nicotine cigarettes. Maybe I'll give this a try, even if it's just give this a try. Even if it's 1,000 people,
Yeah.
10,000 people, whoever, just give this a try. They're selling, and that's what they want. They want to sell whatever, and they release another
Yeah.
product, and that's just I think that's bottom line is they're trying to get money back that
And
they've
you know
been
what?
losing
Maybe it
for
will.
X amount of years.
There's probably a small percentage of people, sure, I'll give you that because there's exceptions to everything in life. There's probably going to be a small percentage of people that do switch over to VLN cigarettes and maybe they quit smoking with them. Maybe that reduces their nicotine. They're still able to get their hand to mouth, the visual stimulation, the smoke, all of that without the nicotine. And maybe that helps them quit and they end up putting down those and they quit. Good for them. I'm glad they do. I hope they do.
Yeah.
But I just don't see it as the likely scenario for the majority of smokers.
And a point that I kind of want to bring up, it kind of relates to what Ricky said in chat. And if you're talking about a product that's less expensive than other cigarettes that are on the market, then I kind of agree with what Ricky had to say in chat. Maybe these youths who are trying to look cool or whatever, they can spare X amount and it's less than the normal amount of pack of cigarettes. And yeah, maybe I see that, but right now, like I just said, that we just kind of talked about, I just think it's another product get out there. They're trying to get money back. And that's what I think. And
Yeah.
I don't think.
And I think the whole entire purpose of this vilifying nicotine campaign is to sell those cigarettes.
Yeah.
And so maybe it'll work. Maybe I'm completely wrong, But I know the me that was a smoker, and I try to see through that lens, and I just don't see it working. Like I see me maybe having enough interest to go, cool, I'll buy a pack of these. And then when I literally burn through that pack, like chain smoking them to try to get my nicotine,
Yeah.
and I don't.
I agree with Corey. Yeah, it's gimmicky.
I just don't see it lasting. I don't see a lot of smokers because you can't go from that nicotine level to drop dramatically. Like how many people truly quit smoking going from 2 packs a day to using 1.5 milligram e-liquid and quit successfully that way?
It's just something that they're going to say, like, listen,
you know what I mean? Not very many. Most people require a higher nicotine level to start, and then they taper down. That's why vaping works, because you can taper, but can't.
I think it's just something else for them to say. Listen, there's other ways you can do it now. There's lower
smoke so you can quit smoking.
Yeah, here you go. There's lower nicotine. You can get rid of that nicotine.
I just don't see it working. I think Corey's right. It's a gimmicky. It's a marketing gimmick. Like it. When I look at it through the lens of me being a smoker, I don't see how it works.
Like I said, even if it's people just trying it, if it's 10,000 people, the X amount of people that try it, that was their bottom line. That was their point. It was to get money, to make money, even if it's not a shit ton. That was the whole point. But yeah, so.
I mean, yeah, Tom, I totally agree. This idea that right now we're living in an era where, I was just on Twitter talking about this. We're living in a moment in time right now where people are anti-nicotine, not just smoke, but anti-nicotine, pro-cannabis, and pro craft alcohol all at the same time. Like the same person can be all three of those things. And from like a science standpoint, from a public health standpoint, that's nonsense. It's a
Yeah.
nonsense
No,
place to
I
be.
agree.
To be anti-nicotine, but pro smoking cannabis and consuming alcohol. I'm pro all of it. Just so we're all clear, I'm pro all of it. I believe in bodily autonomy. You put in your body what you want to put in your
Yeah,
body, and you don't
everything
tell
should
me what I
stay on
can
the
put in
market.
mine.
You make your own
I don't.
choices.
Yeah, I'm for
100%.
everything, but I just don't understand right now how we're at that point in time, and it's just silly to me. Like it's just silly to me. Like somebody tried to tell me on Twitter, hey, we're at this point because prohibition and all this stuff, cannabis has ran its course and all this, the science is finally catching up, and we have 60, 70 plus years of research on nicotine. It's not like nicotine is something we just started studying. We have just as much time studying nicotine, as many studies, if not more studies involving nicotine than we do with cannabis, because for a long time, because it was federally illegal, it made scientific studies that much harder around it.
Clown world. Hashtag clown world. I
We
agree.
do. We live in a clown world right now. I mean,
100%.
science has been thrown out of the window. Reason is thrown out of the window. And we just live in this like moral panic bubble. And it's just silly. It's just silly.
Any tweeting I do in the future, I saw Tom's message earlier. No way PMTA. I think that's a really good.
I have
Really
seen
good
that hashtag out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
All this industry needs, all the FDA needs to do is put in marketing and product standards,
That's
and we'd
it.
be done.
Yeah.
We'd be done. That's literally all we need.
Right.
We need to know this is what you're allowed to have in your e-liquid, and that's it. And these are the safety features we need in devices.
And the word epidemic makes my blood boil. But listen, like youth use amongst age restricted products is rampant anyway. Like you really want to
sure, it's down, but it's not going to go anywhere. Like you're never going to get to zero.
That's what I was gonna say is work on ways to restrict youth use. Crack down on these convenience stores. If they're gonna go to vape shops and shut down vape shops or check in on vape shops, why aren't you going to why aren't we flipping the page here and going to convenience stores and figuring out what convenience stores are selling to underage users? And I understand that there's a lot more to the process than the words that just came out of my mouth, but why are we restricting and banning things other than, and I made a tweet about this. I don't tweet often, but I made a tweet and I said it's ban, prohibit, restrict rather than crack down on the underage users and how they're getting this. And I understand that that's a lot more lengthy of a process, but all I see is Trump rolled out millions of dollars this and millions of dollars that. Why don't we keep a safer product for adult use, and work on the youth situation, knowing that it's never going to go away and knowing that it's not as big as everybody is claiming that it is anyway. That's my...
Yeah, and I agree with
that's my
Tom
2 cents.
completely. So nicotine's always got a bad rap because it's associated with combustible tobacco.
Yeah, that's the first thing people think. If you say the word nicotine...
Because it's public perception, and that's the biggest issue, is because it's associated with combustible tobacco. And I mean, nicotine has medical value.
And that's why
everybody
is rolling
go
the way
Google
it is.
nicotine. Just go Google nicotine. I posted it on Twitter the other day, and you'll be entertained if you Google nicotine, because it's literally going to come up and say smoking cessation aid. Helps people stop smoking. That's what it says right on Google. Even Google knows.
I really like that point that you brought up, is public perception. That is literally why everything is rolling the way it is.
It's the reason why we
continues to roll the way it is, because of these antis and because of all these, these crooked news stations and these crooked websites and people rolling out ththese opinion articles that are misinformed and misguided and just
And most of these people have flipped their opinion recently. Yeah. They've flipped their stance. How many body orgs, even Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids, have switched their stance? Yeah. For years, they held the stance that nicotine was not harmful, smoking was harmful. And there's quotes from Matt Myers even saying things basically like, if a product came out that addicted 45 million people but didn't kill any of them, I'd take that deal. And that's a quote from Matt Myers. Why he doesn't stick with that now? Funding.
Yeah. And I agree with Shane 100%. And I've been seeing pictures like this for a while. It hasn't even just been recent. But no, it's not just pods. You know, the big jewel slam. In all
Yeah,
these
and you know
pictures,
what,
I don't
Shane?
see a bunch of jewels. I see a bunch of mods, bunch of
I've
sub
seen a lot of
tanks,
pictures
whatever.
like
You
this
know?
too, where it's all mods and tanks and shit. But when I start seeing pictures like that, and they all look brand new, and they have bottles still in boxes, bottles on the desk still in wrapping,
It's staged, it's set up. It's bullshit.
staged. It's bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Kids don't want you think that a teenager's my mod has a nice Saddle Horse Blue sticker on it.
Fucking holding it down,
But a
dude.
teenager, a teenager who finally can afford and find a way to get their hands on one of these and has ordered one somehow online or has gotten their friends to go buy one at a shop and they drop 50, 60 bucks on one, they're not going to go buy a bunch of them. They're not going to keep it nice. It's going to be in their backpack. It's going to be in their pants. It's going to rattle around. It's going to fall. It's going to get beat up. It's not going to look brand new. And they're not going to walk around with bottles still in their wrappers, still in their
Sure as hell isn't going to be
boxes.
somewhere easily noticeable. Like, holy shit, big,
Like,
tight jeans and fucking bottle and a mod in the pocket. Like, yeah.
yeah, how
Okay,
many of
let's
them were
pretend like
actually
that's real.
confiscated other than the principal going on a shopping spree at his local vape shop? Like it's utter bullshit.
Yeah. And we know
Utter
this.
bullshit. It's because some school wants to get in the fucking paper and jump on the bandwagon and look like they have a problem and that they need to do something about it for publicity.
The tinfoil hat.
Bro, you better wrap your whole body in tinfoil at this point.
No, it's bullshit and it's crazy. It angers the shit out of me, and that's why I don't tweet as much as I do. And honestly, sometimes I just stay off of Twitter. I can't stand it. Like how long or how many times can we reply and argue to these antis, and they're still pushing bullshit flavors and X, Y, and Z. And that's why we need breaks. And we come back and we fight harder, and that.
But yeah, the PMTA process needs a complete overhaul. I mean,
I'm sad. I'm sad, and I'm scared for
the one thing I'm still
know.
lost on, I'm lost, confused, but hopeful all at the same time, is significant equivalence, and I believe that's what it's called. And I don't know if we've talked about this in the past or not, but Views Solo, they do have their PMTA in. Views has their PMTA, and RJ Reynolds does for their entire Views Solo line, including the flavors. They do, including the flavors. Now, a while back when we were discussing the PMTA, I don't know if it was us or I was talking with somebody or watching a stream, whatever.
Yeah.
There's something called significant equivalence. I believe that's what it's called, and I could be wrong. But basically, it means that if a product has gone through this process and you can prove that the majority of your product is exactly the same as that, then you only need to prove or show the differences, whatever you've changed. So if Views can get their products through the PMTA and get approved even in flavors, that still may help us get other products approved. And if you think there isn't a single e-liquid company out there that can afford the PMTA, you're wrong. There are companies out there that can afford the PMTA. It just doesn't help everybody.
No, it doesn't.
The majority of e-liquid companies cannot afford it. No. There are some non-big tobacco e-liquid companies that can, but the majority of them cannot. But it's just
and
the biggest issue right now is that the PMTA doesn't cost anything. The application process through the FDA is free. People get this fucked up a lot too. That process itself is free. The cost comes from the labs that you need to pay to do this testing through that they require. And that cost is being driven up because these shitty fucking labs are taking advantage of the current times, knowing that these companies are extremely desperate and will pay whatever to get their products tested. They're price gouging, which drives the price up. But the actual application through the FDA costs this much.
So, of course, they're not the bad guys.
So when we yell at the FDA about the cost of the PMTA, we're not really doing much fucking good.
No.
Because their application is free. It's the cost for all of these places that you actually have to go through the testing at. They're the ones price gouging. They're the ones making the process that expensive.
I want to take a second to just thank everybody that's here. This has been a heated, but that's the state of things right now. Apologize to anybody that isn't with the whole
even sick. I'm
discussion
just gonna sit here and rant.
No, dude, that's Logan. He's
That's what
still
I
here.
do.
He's sick, but he's still here. He's
Still here.
100%.
Here for
That
you
is
guys.
So, yeah. So we're right around that 1 hour mark. Guess we can start to wrap up. If anybody has any questions they want to ask Logan or myself, anything we discussed tonight, anything in general, anything coming up, what we have in store for 2020, all that sort of thing, we'll take some questions and we'll wrap up. What do you think, Logan?
I agree, Ricky. I mean, I'm literally talking out of like 1 out of every 500 e-liquid companies that could afford the process.
Yeah.
I'm talking about companies like Candy King.
Yeah.
Companies like Naked 100. Companies like Savage. Savage has already come out publicly saying they will be applying for their PMTA. We're talking about
Naked.
major e-liquid companies that are in shops all across America.
Yeah.
We're not talking about,
Yeah, I feel bad.
I don't
for
know.
the
We're not
small
talking about
business,
rescued e-liquid. Okay, we're not talking
what's
about
going to happen
things
to
like
what's going to happen to
we're not
guys
talking about
everybody
anarchist.
loves,
We're talking about companies that have been around for a long time. They've made all their money, but a lot of these companies too. When we look at Candy King's not going to make it through the PMTA. They can afford the process, but they won't get approved.
Yeah.
You have any idea how much super sweet and sucralose is in Candy King?
Sick, and the beard looks great. The beard.
Thanks, Jay Wings. I appreciate that. I combed it before I came down. I figured at least one part of me would look nice. Yeah, I mean they can afford it, but are they going to make it? No, probably not. But they can afford
beard.
it, and that's what I was getting at. There are companies that could afford Space Jam's gone, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. Space Jam's gone. They left. They ditched. They bounced. If you're buying Space Jam at a vape shop right now, you're buying old Space Jam.
Yeah.
Space Jam's gone.
So, well, I guess as we wait for some questions, what do you got? What do you got coming up this week, Logan?
Well, so we should have a podcast tomorrow. I'm gonna be sick. We're gonna be talking about basically a lot of what you and I just talked about tonight, and a couple other things. And then tomorrow, I'm also going to be doing a Rise and Chat interview with somebody pretty special that I think a lot of people know. And then also, I'm currently in the middle of working on getting it put together, and I'm waiting on a few other interviews. But I'm going to be working on an episode for the podcast around vaping and diabetes. So
excited for that one.
Yeah, we're kind of looking at how vaping can help people with diabetes, especially people who smoke, because obviously smoking and diabetes is a terrible combination when it comes to the circulation and cardiovascular system for people, and the huge improvements they would see by switching. But I'm also looking at food management, sugar management, and things like that, and how people use vaping to maybe not necessarily take in as much sugar, like, oh, I can't eat this frosted sugar cookie, but I can vape it. And that's a very real thing that a lot of people do. And we saw some of that in my drug recovery episode. I was talking to somebody that, used vaping because of food in the situation they were in, with not being able to eat because of the drugs that they were coming off of and things like that. Tom Anthony, please DM me, get online and give a shout out to me, DM me somewhere, and I'd be happy to have you on and talk to you about it.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for coming out again. If you're not over on the SoundCloud or over on Apple,
yeah,
podcast,
check us
check out Rise and Vape.
Yeah.
Every week, usually every week. Always good.
Yep, every Monday.
Good content.
Every Monday.
Good content for your Monday drive.
I try to get it up Sunday night so that way everybody has it.
Hey, and if you're here right now, and forgive me if I'm not noticing, but if you're here right now and you're not in our Discord,
oh, that didn't work.
Message Logan, message myself.
Get on our Discord. It's a good time.
Raging Vapor, Jay. He's not in the chat right now, but you can also message him. Come check us out. We have great talks. Over 100 people now. I don't even know what the count is at, but yeah, a bunch of different sections to hang out, chat, post pics, all that good stuff. As far as what I got coming out, I didn't do a December vape box. I honestly, I don't know what I got coming out.
Then I'll get you back. I'll have you back for another episode, Tom. I didn't realize that was you, brother.
Yeah, so I don't know what I got coming out.
Different profile picture.
But yeah, so I guess we'll wrap it up. Our socials are running at the top and the bottom of the screens there. Obviously, you're on my YouTube. Check me on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out Logan on his socials. This guy is 95% of the time a Twitter maniac. Logan is the guy I look into for everything, for what's going on, amongst other people, of course. But yeah.
I realize now, Tom, that it's you, and I'd be happy to have you on for another episode. I'd be happy to. Anybody that has anybody involved with any of that has something to say, if you're a diabetic and you've switched to vaping, and through that you utilize that for food management, sugar management, things like that, please reach out to me, because
it's an interesting topic and discussion.
I think a lot
sure.
of I
sure.
see it and I hear about it a lot on Twitter, but unfortunately a lot of people haven't reached out to me about it. And it's just, I see it all the time, and there's a lot of people that just haven't
100%. He's a
gotten back to me
or
whatever, and it's just
beast.
It's an opportunity for people to share their stories and help other people. So I don't see why people wouldn't. But maybe I get it. Some people are shy or whatever, and they're dealing with their own.
But
issues,
it can be an anonymous thing. Of course.
Yeah,
you don't have to say
you don't have to say your name. It doesn't have to be. There's no video, anything like that. So I mean, it can be fairly anonymous. But some people are still uncomfortable doing.
We're back. I want to point out quickly as we wrap this up that next week my girlfriend's family is coming up, so we're doing like a family cabin trip. So we're back, but next week we're gonna take off. I'm gonna have this everybody's coming.
I'm gonna stream solo
Florida.
next week, everybody.
Do it. Just do it. You'll have everybody. I know everyone will be there. Who knows? Maybe I'll stream from the cabin. Maybe I'll jump in, say what's up. But I want to thank everybody again for coming out. Smash that like button, hit that dislike, comment.
Maybe me and Beck will just go live next week.
That sounds like
X1 in the chat if you want me and Becky to go live next week in replace of InTheClouds.
Ouch.
We're just gonna take it over.
Do that? You should just did a poll.
How about a live YouTube Rise and Vape? X1 in the chat if you want that.
What a dick.
I haven't gotten any X1, so you're no worries, man.
What is a delay, dude? Give it a
Nobody
sec. You're gonna see 15 of them. You're gonna
cancel the stream right now.
Suddenly 300 people are gonna join. It's like X1. But yeah, so thanks again to everybody that came out. Logan, thank you for making it, even though you're sick. I appreciate everybody. So not next week, but the following, we'll be here. Saturday shenanigans, news and advocacy, all the things. Hopefully Logan is feeling a little better.
I would hope. Christ almighty.
So. Yeah,
by then I hope.
But I hope you guys have a good rest of your night, good rest of your weekend. Keep fighting the good fight. You can check us out on socials. We'll be there. We'll be on Twitter, Instagram, maybe not so much, YouTube, all that good stuff. And I don't know about everybody else, but I'm looking forward to the Rise and Vape Monday mornings. That's my thing. Coffee,
love
all
it.
that good stuff.
Good stuff.
And yeah, that's all I got, guys. Take it easy. I guess.
Right,
do you want to do the thing, Logan? I guess we'll do the thing.
You're sick, see. You know what? It's been nice though that this hasn't been like a lung thing.
Yeah, it's
just been like a nasal head congestion thing. So I've been able to vape fine. I just can't taste any of it. But sure. Are you ready? Are we gonna do the thing?
I'm doing it.
Much love. Be excellent to each other. Stay cloudy. And
don't give up.
Either get involved or stay involved.
And don't give up.
We're not going anywhere.